Welcome to another movie plot and enjoy the memories. We open on a different plane of existence with the rebel leader Dar being captured. A tribunal finds him guilty of conspiring against Lord Arklon, who shows what a little conditioner could do for our protagonist. Fabio sentences him to be executed for witchcraft because Dar has the magical ability of being able to command animals. One of his best friends is a tiger named Rue who somehow got inside the cave unnoticed and takes out the executioner before he can namesake. Two ferrets named Kodo and Poto Jr. nibble through their human friend's bindings so that he can defeat most of the soldiers without even using a weapon. He then kills the other half with the executioner's axe, and the only man who gets a chance to stab Dar in the back doesn't. The council waits nervously to be kicked in the face or pancaked with the axe before Dar takes out the last two soldiers with a single chest kick. He's then confronted by Arklon because I think he's all that's left, and he uses a laser gun called the Key of Magog to basically cheat. The two soldiers who were knocked out get up and restrain the Beastmaster, but he just wrist escape double spin Aroonies them unconscious again. Before Arklon can fire a finishing blow, the Eagle Sherrick swoops in with a peck attack while the hero escapes because this king thought a cave would be better than a castle. Dar stuffs his ferrets in his knapsack, which isn't a euphemism, then uses his power of animal brainwashing to steal an enemy's horse and flee. Sometime later, a caravan of rebels use a witch named Lyranna as a GPS to traverse the land without running into trouble. She leads them right to Arklon, who now covers half his face just to hide some pitiful little scars that frankly make him look more distinguished. He blasts the rebel captain with a plasma ball to the face, then sends giant styrofoam rocks to crush the rest of the rebels. They're all funneled into a chasm and slaughtered with a trilogy of archers, rocks, and Arklon using his shake weight of destruction. The only one left alive is Lyranna, who the king thinks is just some 2-bit floozy until she casts a spell that renders his soldier impotent. She offers to make Leatherface the most powerful man in the world, but he already has the ability to read minds, he just never uses it. He just lets the witch take him to a dimensional doorway that she says leads to a parallel plane of existence and trusts it isn't a trap. She opens a portal to modern-day Los Angeles and peers into a facility that houses the neutron detonator. Lyranna says that with this weapon nobody would dare threaten Arklon, but she's the only one who knows how to get back from LA. She'll only assist if the king marries her, so instead of just reading her mind and hurling her off a cliff, he reluctantly agrees for some reason. Meanwhile, a group of Arklon's men are riding through a swamp on horses that have seen some horrible things by the looks on their faces. We hear a few screams in the darkness as all of the soldiers are killed off screen except for a lone survivor who gets clotheslined by a branch. He's then set upon by a swamp hag that throws him around a bit before killing him off screen just like his friends. Dar is also hanging out in this popular hotspot, but the hag just wants to be left alone like Shrek, so she attacks him as well. Once a human until she turned herself into a plant through the use of forbidden magic, she hypnotizes Rue with her glowy eyeballs. When trying to use the same high beams on the Beastmaster, she recognizes the branding on his hand and apologizes for trying to kill her own nephew. She gives our hero a quest, but he squats so far away at first that he must reposition himself to hear what it entails. Dar's aunt reveals that Arklon is his older brother, but he must be killed before he gets the bomb because that fool is just crazy enough to use it. Because of a wound sustained from one of the soldiers, she then wanders off into the swamp to die alone while the Beastmaster begins his journey. In present-day Los Angeles, a senator's daughter named Jackie drives recklessly and attracts the attention of the police. They pursue her into an alley where, if it weren't for the portal created by Lyranna, this girl would have crashed headfirst into a brick wall. Along with two patrol cars, she travels through the wormhole into the Beastmaster's world, but the officers think they've just crashed onto a movie set. I can understand that with the Phantom of the Opera standing over there, but the extras try to kill them and blow up their car, so they dive back through the portal. Jackie remains stuck inside Fantasyland and drives away from the soldiers who are ordered by Senor Scarface to capture alive. When her Porsche runs out of gas, she camps in the desert and wakes up the next day with a face full of tiger. Fortunately, it's the friendly Rue, and Dar shows up looking like a circus performer or possibly a stripper at the zoo. Either way, Jackie follows the stranger without understanding much of what he's talking about because she hopes he can lead her back to the city. I assume he's taking her back the way she came since he's hunting his brother, but she doesn't notice and just eats her roots. At night, they're stalked by hounds that drag lost souls down into the abyss, which sounds more menacing than dogs with armor. I think the Beastmaster might be overselling their threat like dingoes because he says he will sit on watch but then just goes to sleep. The next morning, however, they're attacked by soldiers wielding chloroform grapes because Arklon wants the Earth Girl to answer some questions. Instead of killing the bigger threat first, they abduct Jackie, giving Rue time to usher Dar to safety before the priority-lacking lackeys return. Jackie gets delivered to Arklon and says that her father is friends with powerful generals, so he promises to release her if she helps him acquire the neutron detonator. Again, he could just absorb all her knowledge, which would probably fill a leaflet, but Arklon decides to bring her to LA instead. The moment they cross through the portal, Dar catches up, and I think these are the same 2 guards that he keeps knocking out. He's now immune to the grape gas after one nap, and I'm not even sure what kills the soldiers, but let's just say themselves. Dar leaps through the portal with his animals and reveals the branding on his palm, indicating to the king that they're brothers. Arklon doesn't give a crap and just uses the key to rupture the gas pipe of convenience, then walks away with his girls. Their outfits draw some unwanted attention, so Jackie takes them to a clothing store to look less warlordy. She simply waits until they enter the changing rooms, then runs away, so Arklon gets angry because he forgot she had legs. He has a temper tantrum and uses the key to cause all kinds of chaos before testing out a new catchphrase on his way out.
He who defies Arklon shall be destroyed by Arklon!
He then just wanders away from his little meltdown, leaving Lyranna briefly trapped inside the store with a dress that we never see again. Meanwhile, Dar is ordered by Police Lieutenant Coberly and his tiny little partner Bendowski to wait with the tiger until animal control arrives. When a zookeeper tranquilizes Rue, the Beastmaster thinks they killed his cat, so charges with his sword at a terrified cop. Fortunately, Dar is tasered and not shot, then brought back to the station where he's questioned like Jane trying to communicate with Tarzan.
What's your name?
Coberly says that Rue was taken to the zoo, and Dar freaks out at a sketch of the perpetrator from the clothing store like he's never seen a drawing. He then grabs his gear and escapes because nobody thought to handcuff the man who just ran at the police officers with a bladed weapon. Dar leaps out the window and jumps in the car with Jackie, who just happened to be waiting in front of the police station to aid and abet. She drives them down Hollywood Boulevard and they pass a screening of Beastmaster 2 starring Dar's Earth doppelganger Marc Singer. They drive right past Arklon taking the uniform off a drunk military officer and reading somebody's mind for the first time in the movie. He learns the bomb's location, then goes to the housing facility where Lyranna pops up wearing her own uniform because I guess her scene got cut. With all of the knowledge Arklon absorbed from Captain Morgan, the pair still look nothing like their stolen ID cards, so are stopped by the first guard with eyeballs. Speaking of scenes that should have been cut, Jackie takes Dar to her home in Beverly Hills where we meet her butler Wendel. He's perfectly fine with his boss's daughter bringing home naked middle-aged men, but upon seeing the animals he says he's going to have to call her father. Dar looks at the food he's served like it's some otherworldly creation, but it's a couple of chopped up vegetables and dry-looking meat. As well as eating like a rabbit, he learns that Jackie's mother died for no other reason than the writers wanted to have some fun. Wendel has been watching the naughty channel apparently, so Jackie switches over to the news hoping the writers will try to get cute again. They just happen to see Arklon arriving at the government facility, so dress Dar like a cowboy to blend in with the other cowboys. They drive down to the facility, however the guard won't let them in because nepotism doesn't give you clearance and Blondie looks suspicious. Well, somehow Arklon got inside with McLovin's ID card and knocks out the guards who forgot to put the padding inside their helmets. He then steals the neutron detonator from a couple of scientists, but he accidentally triggers the detonation timer, so they're just like, heck, take it. Magog begins to have some performance issues, but that's common in keys of its age, so Arklon just rubs it a little and we're good. The pair steal a jeep to escape, however the king reads the witch's mind to discover she was going to usurp his throne once they got married. He must have forgotten he could have just done this earlier and tosses her to the curb quite literally, so she curses him with the weakest spell in her book. Arklon just spits up a single spider that isn't even that big, then races back to the portal wondering if that was the entire curse. Jackie and Dar give chase accompanied by Lyranna, who they let jump in the backseat instead of driving a sword through her face. She offers to help them defeat her fiancé, so they chase him into the alley where he attempts to make it through the portal with the bomb. Dar blocks his way, but he brought a sword to a Key of Magog fight, so it's fortunate that his brother has no accuracy with the thing. Suddenly all of the police in LA arrive, so Arklon switches his weapon to tornado mode and creates a distraction that allows him to sheepdog over their patrol cars. He escapes in the Jeep because nobody boxed it in and the cops just let him get away to shoot at the half-naked surfer dude that didn't attack them instead. Coberly has to tell everybody to chill out while Jackie sends Lyranna to get a military friend of her father's to disarm the bomb, and this is the last time we see the witch. Jackie then uses a crane to lower the Beastmaster down from the building he climbed and nearly breaks his neck on the landing, but oh well. They then evade the police in her car because nobody boxed her in either, and our eyes in the sky tell Dar in eagle language that Arklon is at the zoo. Sherrick then doesn't even wait for the rest of the team and charges the brothers solo, but gets blown out of the air by the key. Dar arrives and confronts Arklon, who creates a crevice into the bowels of hell, but all it does is let Rue out of his holding pen. The cat then just lays down with the other animals and watches Dar have a duel with his brother in a wacky lit circus arena. There's really no need for Jackie to be risking Dar's life by DJing instead of helping, but fortunately the protagonist is just a better fighter. He gives Arklon multiple chances to surrender until almost being knocked into the pit of fire, but even when he has a sure thing, this guy manages to screw up. The king completely whiffs his thrust and Dar throws him into the lava because that's the only way of dealing with these kind of siblings. He checks on Sherrick, who's completely fine because the key must have gone limp again and was just playing dead to get out of work. A general from the old folks' home shows up with the police and takes until the last second to disarm the bomb because of that damn arthritis. Jackie returns with Dar to the alley where he uses the key to open the portal and leaves her with the emotional support ferrets. The Beastmaster receives a very platonic kiss, then travels back to his homeworld where he immediately encounters a group of pilgrims. They've come from all over to worship at Jackie's abandoned Porsche while dancing to the rock and roll that it plays. And the movie ends.